right, it is Food City Friday, and I'm joined by registered dietitian Elizabeth Hall, and it is also Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
It is Groundhog Day. There's a lot going on this weekend.
There is a lot going on, and probably most of us are starting to plan all of our delicious meals and dishes for our big game
I'm already
parties.
thinking about Super Bowl, you know, all those delicious dishes you can have.
Yes, and there's so many that are my favorites too, but you know, sometimes those can be very high calorie, right? It's estimated around 5,000 calories.
5,000 calories.
5,000, yeah. So over double what you're supposed to have in a day for most people, just at a party on those party foods, because they tend to be higher in saturated fat, sodium, and added sugar. So I brought some of my favorites today and how I kind of lighten them up, but also add some more nutrient-rich foods to those recipes.
And you know the thing I like about your recipes? I love this fact. You're lightening things up, but you're keeping the flavor.
You know, I love to eat.
And sometimes you're even upping the flavor on them. Yes.
Definitely. And a lot of people don't realize that adding more vegetables and fruits, which is my first tip, you know, just to add in more of those fruits and vegetables and produce items, that actually adds a whole lot of flavor. Like you said, adding those fresh herbs adds color, and it makes it look pretty, but it also makes it taste delicious. So I brought some of my favorite things to add. Of course, picking up just a simple veggie tray or a fruit tray at Food City.
And you got plenty of those at Food City.
Yes, that's a really easy thing to do, to just have those lighter options out there, so maybe you can fill up a little bit on those so you don't overdo it on the heavier stuff.
And maybe if you're making a vegetable dip, use some yogurt instead of mayonnaise or something like that.
That's exactly what I'm going to do, Chris.
How
did you know?
I listen to you.
You do.
I really do.
It's great to know someone's listening, you know. But yeah, we're going to make a recipe, actually a spinach dip recipe that utilizes Greek yogurt. And I brought some other options just in case you love sour cream. There is a lower fat sour cream, so that's another option. You really can't taste the difference. I really like the Greek yogurt because it's a little bit thicker.
It's got some protein in it too.
It does have protein,
really
so when you're thinking about eating usually these higher fat, you know, higher carbohydrate foods, pairing that protein with it can be helpful, stabilize those blood sugars and things like that. So that's the recipe we're going to make today. Do you want to start on that now?
Sure, let's do that.
So
this is a spinach dip.
This is spinach dip, and you could actually eat this hot or cold, depending on what you like. Sometimes I like it hot, sometimes I like it cold, you know, so whatever you like.
If you got some left over, you just stick it in the fridge, eat it the next day.
Exactly. So I'm adding in my Greek yogurt here, and I'm making a smaller version of the recipe. Usually you'd add about 2 cups. So I have my Greek yogurt in there. I'm also going to add a little bit of this lower fat cream cheese. So it looks like this. It kind of has that blue ribbon in the store. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Nutritious.
I can't read it upside down.
Yeah, nutritious cheese. I think that's how you say it. So I have just a little bit of that cream cheese. So this recipe doesn't have a whole lot of cheese in it, and you really cannot tell, I promise you. So I'm adding in all of my spinach, and again, we're getting those darker colors. We're getting lots of fiber too, so that's going to keep us fuller longer. So maybe we won't.
And it looks like you're putting a ton of spinach in there, but really, spinach, when you start working with it, kind of compacts.
Definitely,
and
you could also use frozen if you have that on hand. I just had some fresh, so this is a great recipe to use up those extra greens in your fridge. And then I also have some artichokes here.
Gotta have some spinach artichoke. You gotta have some artichoke.
And I love the flavor of artichokes. You could leave these out if you want, but I think they add a whole lot of flavor. And this is just the canned. Yes, this is just the canned version. So I'm adding that in. A little bit of lemon juice that adds a little bit of zing. And then I have garlic. I always bring garlic, don't I?
Well, you gotta add some flavor in there. Garlic is a great flavor.
I know. I always smell it in the kitchen. It smells like garlic in here. I have a little bit of feta cheese, not very much, you can see. And then I have a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and that is it. And what I like to do is just give it some pulses in my food processor, stick it in my baking dish, and then I cook it for about 20 minutes or so, or until that cheese is nice and melted.
And you know, of course you can eat it with chips. There are lighter chips, and of course you can eat it with other vegetables as well, like celery sticks or something.
And that's a great idea. And a lot of times with the chips, you know, making sure you're watching your portions. So I always recommend, you know, taking some out of the bag and kind of
just
using your own portion.
Don't sit there with an open bag.
Yeah, that's never a good idea.
Like I do.
That's never a good idea.
I'm learning something. But this, you know, you made this for like what, 2 people? That portion size, maybe?
This will probably serve 4 to 6. So for a bigger party, like I said, you'd probably get more just like 10 to 12. Yeah. So usually about 2 cups of that Greek yogurt and kind of double everything that I've put in here today. Depends on how big your food processor is too.
Yeah,
you might have to do it in batches.
You gotta take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, and then I also made a bean dip down here, and that's great kind of like a spin-off of that cowboy caviar.
Yes.
But lots of different beans that add the fiber, and then also lots of your veggies in there too.
Very colorful as
yes.
well. And one thing I have learned, eat your colors.
Yes, colors need more nutrients,
colors.
right?
That's exactly right.
Yes.
We're going to come back in a few moments. You got another recipe or two
I
for
do.
us. All right. Folks, it is Food City, and check out foodcity.com for this recipe, so many recipes, so many coupons, everything going on right there at foodcity.com.
The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by